Little did I know, from shadows to light, my story. Chapter 2. The Turbulent Teenage Years. Bible Camp and Brotherhood continued. By the time I stepped into high school, the lens through which I saw race, community, and belonging had started to change. Subtly at first, like a camera slowly adjusting to the light. What had once been background noise began to take shape, revealing the quiet ways people were divided, misunderstood, or mythologized. One of the first people to nudge that shift was Peter DeYoung, a senior 3 or 4 years ahead of me, and one of only a handful of black students I knew of in Cohoes. Peter wasn't a stranger. He was my next-door neighbor. Yet growing up, he might as well have lived on another planet. Our exchanges were brief, polite, a wave, a "Hey, Peter," then silence. No shared stories, no borrowed tools, no backyard conversations. Just parallel lives separated by a fence, a few years, and something I wouldn't understand until much later. My mother used to tell us that Peter's father was a doctor, and I believed her without question. I even called him Dr. DeYoung for years, out of respect, and because it fit the tidy image she'd built. But the truth surfaced years later, long after adolescence had scattered us all in different directions. In adulthood, I ran into Mr. DeYoung again and learned who he really was. A plumber, born in Martinique. A craftsman, not a clinician. And he told me, with quiet certainty, that my mother had always known that. That revelation hit me harder than I expected. Not because of what he did for a living, but because my mother had rewritten his story. Perhaps to soften her own discomfort, or to shape the world into something that made more sense to her. Maybe doctor felt safer to her than immigrant. Maybe it was about class, or pride, or a kind of genteel distance she didn't know how to bridge. Whatever her reasons, it left me unsettled and a little ashamed. It was one of those subtle lessons life delivers sideways. How prejudice can hide behind compliments, and how even kindness can be distorted by fear. Peter, though, defied all that noise. He was generous, grounded, and real. When I was still a freshman with a cast on my arm and a hoodie that said "Coach," he didn't see a kid from next door. He saw a person. He shared a joint with me one night behind the school, and in that small, smoky space, all the social hierarchies dissolved. No tension, no guardedness. Just two neighbors finding common ground for the first time. Years later, I discovered that Peter had joined the Navy after graduating in 1980. And here's the poetic twist. By the time he was leaving the service, I was just arriving for my first major command. Two lives that had begun side by side on Lancaster Street ended up running parallel again. Thousands of miles away, wearing the same uniform. Then came the heartbreak I could never have imagined. In October of 1988, Mr. DeYoung's wife was killed in a car accident. The very same month and year that Kathy, my wife, was taken from me in the same way. I didn't know it then, but our stories had always been connected. Through tragedy, through service, through silence. Looking back, I realized that Peter and his father weren't just neighbors. They were quiet teachers. Peter showed me how friendship can begin in defiance of social lines. His father taught me how easily truth gets rewritten to fit our fears. They both live in my memory now, not as side characters, but as mirrors. reflecting how far I had to go to understand what real brotherhood means. I wish I'd known them better, but I remember them now with reverence. Thank you for spending this time with me, the Pussycat Wizard. These moments we share, whether in shadows or in light, are threads in a much larger story, one I'm honored to tell with you beside me. As always, the journey continues. The next chapter subsection is waiting, and I'd be honored if you'd walk with me a little further down this road. Until then, keep the wonder alive, and I'll see you in the next episode of Little Did I Know.
In the quiet of my mind, a tempest rages. Mother's convictions, the script of ages. Her voice a beacon in the fog of my prose. David, she chides, in secrecy it goes. Beneath my breath, a silent plea. Mother, I hear you, but can you hear me? Your Savior, your faith you implore, I embrace. Yet within, I wrestle with my own grace. Torn between the divine and my truth. A son's love, a personal sleuth. Have you surrendered? You persistently ask. In your version of Jesus, should I bask? Jane, your call for aid. He's different, you say, a label pre-made. In your eyes I see the fear of a son's path, not straight but queer. I stand at the crossroads of self. My identity not just a book on the shelf. Mother, your love I'll always hold dear, but my journey is mine. Let this be clear.